everyone, welcome to Brain Hydration Podcast. This is your host Trishna. On today's episode, we had Isha, who is a corporate behavioral trainer and an academician. But you probably know her as the face behind Foodaholics. This podcast is for all those people who are food influencers or are aspiring to be a food influencers because we talk about how you can be a better food influencers and can do justice to your audience. We also talked about motherhood and how lot of parenting tips can help you to make your motherhood less stressful. Hi, how are you doing today?
Good, fantastic.
Okay, so for the people who don't know you, tell me something about you.
I'm a corporate behavioral trainer by profession. What I do is I help employees of the company identify with their behavior and how it impacts their work performance. And I also help channelize their competitiveness when it comes to um, tackling their time better, working collaboratively with their team members, and also just build effective communication skills. So that's what I do. I work with companies like Tata, Wipro, HDFC, Reliance, Siemens,
Mm.
all of them.
Right.
This work experience also gives me inroads to reputed business institutes where I teach students who corporate communication thanks to my experience. So I'm also an academician. I also am features writer with many publications where I write about food as well as your life in a corporate sphere of work. So I do all of these things, but I think I'm more easily identifiable as the founder of Foodaholics.
Foodaholics, yeah.
To my love for food and yeah, so that's
Yes.
what I do.
And what does Foodaholics do? Tell me about that.
So Foodaholics is now a large family of 100,000 people, but it was built 11 years ago with the sole purpose of just meticulously gathering the food enthusiasts of the city. Honestly speaking, when we started, the purpose was never, um, we actually didn't know, we were quite aimless. And I always keep telling people, had WhatsApp group been a feature available, I don't think Foodaholics would have ever taken birth either.
Yeah.
So back when we started, Facebook was then touted as the place of social media to be at. And we just started this group to help assist our own friends, like 200 common friends that we had, Rohan and I.
Yeah.
We started just to have all of them in common place of communication. That we went to a certain cafe, we had fun, why don't you guys check it out? Or we feel like having banana chips, where should we go? So we just wanted to trigger those conversations, and then we had no idea for the life of it what were we planning to do with Foodaholics. But I think then, as and when people started joining in, they started deciding what they want to do with the community. And here we are, 11 years later, doing everything under the sun, whatever concerns food.
Okay. So I'm going to just dive right away into some very hot and controversial topics.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, what makes you the most happy? Which work of yours would make you more happy? Is it corporate training or Foodaholics? For which work can you stay awake till late night?
Oh, I am a late night person. I'm a nocturnal being. So I
Okay.
will wait for the entire world to go to sleep so that I'm not demanded, required by anybody. And that's when I'm at my peak efficiency. So regardless, no matter the nature of work that I do, I'm usually up at night because things that will otherwise take me 45 minutes to 1 hour in the morning will probably take me just 10 minutes at night. So I'm at my high efficiency. So usually it's my choice of hour of the day when I work.
Okay.
But I'll be happy working either. It's like asking a parent to choose, do you love your older son's child better or your younger child better?
Really? You can't choose one?
Okay. I think just because you're pushing me, I'll choose Foodaholics.
I knew that answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes me creative. I feel creatively charged with anything that regards to Foodaholics. Yes.
Right. Okay. Have you ever faced any online controversy?
Yeah, plenty.
Do you want to tell us one?
But all of this was much earlier in time. Like I think all these controversies were probably in the first 1/4 of the life of Foodaholics, because it was new. And all the nature of controversies that we found ourselves into came from a place of the unknown. So we faced slander, we faced accusations of not being morally ethical, all of that. And I think those were also spewed by people who did not know how we function. And when you're in the place of unknown, you fear that thing. And the minute you fear something, you attack it. So those are the kind of attacks that we faced initially. And but the good part was that while of course we lost our sleep for a few days over it because we were young, we were also very very hot blooded, and we were like, how can someone get away by saying things like this behind our backs and this and that? So those were those controversies where accusations were involved. But of course we just kept doing what we were doing, and then things dissolved. Soon we found those same individuals trying to mock and do exactly what we were doing because they found that there is
The
some
key to
virtue
success.
in doing
The
it.
key
Yeah.
to success.
Yeah. So I think that was our flattery there, right there.
Okay.
But aside of that, I think we've just found ourselves in very hot conversations more than controversies. We've picked on discussions and debates about why people should be honest about the nature of content that's coming their way, why they should be honest to their readers or viewers about whether they were paid to write this or not. Because we believed the whole point of us starting, and eventually, like, of course, we did not know why we started Foodaholics, with what purpose, but eventually we wanted to have that as a platform to build a good dining culture in the city. So anything and everything that we could enable to have that come to life, have that become true, we did. So when we found certain people not being honest, we started our own campaign saying that we will write I paid for it. Whenever we were reviewing a
I
place.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and now we see that even some of the fashion writers or bloggers are also using it, and it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
So we're glad to have that made that change or bring about that movement in the culture of blogging.
Right.
So yeah, those are the kind of small fights that we picked.
Okay. Tell me one crazy idea. Tell me one crazy goal of yours which you have for Foodaholics, which you might think it's crazy, or people have labeled it as crazy, but you still feel that somewhere I'm going to do this.
So there is one, but I think it's too nascent to even discuss the nature of it. So I'm going to keep it to myself. But this did happen a couple of years ago. So back when somebody told us, and this somebody happens to be Nikhil Musale, who is the director for Gujarati films, but happens to be a great friend. And he was like, "You have 3,000 members. Why don't you do something? Why don't you break a record by holding the largest potluck party or something?" I'm like, "Are you mad?" So we laughed him off, and then that became that idea never left us, and we chased that idea. And clearly, in 2016, we ended up bagging the title for world's largest potluck party and putting Ahmedabad on the world food map by doing that. So everyone called us crazy, but we were like, "Okay, now what is there to lose? Let's just try it."
Yeah.
And 1855 Ahmedabadis came with their own dabbas, packed food.
1855
people
Wow.
on one ground at the same point in time.
Which
Yes.
year?
This was in 2016. June 2016.
Right.
Yeah.
When are you doing the next one?
I think the charm wears off after the first one. But I think I want to do this for the Gen Z because there's so many people who couldn't get to be a part of this.
Right.
So I think the newer generation of people who...
I'm sure, but your followers are very authentic. Because I've seen this, like, people know you in Ahmedabad, so whenever you do the next podcast, I'm sure you're going to attract a lot of crowd.
Yeah, so I want to do it for people who we miss sharing a meal with.
Yeah.
There are only 1855 people. There's like 8 lakhs plus population of Ahmedabad right now. I don't know. But yeah, much more than what we bagged at that point in time. So yeah, something for the larger audience, maybe sometime soon. I don't know. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, I hope something great comes up.
Something crazy, right? Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do when you go to a restaurant and you don't like their food, but they have invited you for the paid collaboration?
Oh, so that step comes much after. This is strictly speaking in terms of a paid collaboration. So we have our own set of rules. When somebody approaches us, we first sift those brands into 2 categories. Have we already had food there, and had we liked the food there? So we do our own set of due diligence even before saying yes to a client. So when they approach us saying that we would like for you to, showcase our brand or talk about our products and our food, So, and if we've not been there, then we do our own, like ordering the food, try the food by ourselves, and we politely decline. If we don't like the food, we tell them very honestly that these are, that has happened thrice so far, where people have approached us willing to pay the money, the fees that we sort of command, and we were very, very frank with them. First, we said that, so there are two ways this can go. One, we say that you are like the kind of food that you have on offer is our audience is not fit for you. So if someone's coming trying to promote a pizza with all kinds of fake cheeses, and that's not something that we want to push promote, we have told them very clearly that I don't think our audience and your product is the right match.
Right.
And that's how we politely decline the offer. And the other times where we know that the brand is actually very, honestly trying very hard to work in a right direction,
Right.
we've given them unsolicited counsel also, where we've told them that these are the areas you might want to look into and improve,
Yeah.
and let's meet again in 6 months.
Right.
So once after you have certain things
Giving
corrected for
them
yourselves,
hope, yeah,
yes.
that's
And we have gone back to them. We
Right.
have tried, whenever we found time and we had the bandwidth to, we have gone back to people and tried their food, and then told them, I think you geared up right, and let's do this again.
Right.
So yeah, that's how we work. We owe it to our audience. So if someone says we get into paid collaborations, we still don't talk about brands that we don't ethically align with. So we don't do that. We have very, very politely declined offers, and so that's how you get probably the kind of trust that people have in us.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so now we will talk something about your Foodaholics journey. It is 10 years or more than 10 years.
11 plus.
And you have a huge audience in Ahmedabad. Everyone loves you, everyone loves Foodaholics. Tell me something about your journey. Tell me something about your 10 years journey. Is it registered? Is it independent entity? Do you do events or you just do social media, paid collabs? What is it about?
So today, it's easier to answer this question, honestly. I still don't have, it is still an open-ended answer. I don't have 5 pointers where I can tell you that these are the 5 services we offer or these are the 5 things that we cover. Because if you come up to me with a really wacky idea, Rohan and I will execute it for you. But it has to be concerned with food.
Right.
As long as it is associated with food, one way or the other, we are willing to do it.
Yeah.
There's a car brand that approached us and they were like, hey, we want to promote. I'm like, okay, let's make it about food, and we did that. Right? So something or the other has to be associated with food or para food, one way or the other. But yes, as Foodaholics, as a community, we celebrate food day in, day out. Our Facebook group, even if Facebook is otherwise seeing like a downtime right now, our community is still active. Like we have about 16,000 odd plus members, and we have at any given point in time 75% of those are active and online. So that's a huge validation for us that we managed to create a community which is very safe, where people are comfortable discussing any and all queries that they have under the sun, and where they know they will find the right answers.
Right.
And answers that they can trust and actions that they can trust that way. So by means of community, that's what we do. And other than that, we do events, of course, small 20 people event to large 2,000 people event like Ras Garba. Ras Garba happens to be our gala night, so we just invite everyone we know, everyone we love, bring them to one roof.
I'm looking forward to come there this time.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people now who try to be food influencers. But I think you are doing much more than that by organizing events, and you've also developed a community.
Yeah.
And I think consistency is the key.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how do you maintain the consistency? Because you have to keep on posting, you have to keep on going to new restaurants and keep on posting about that. How do you maintain this whole consistency then?
See, it's been 11 years, but we've never gotten bored of what we do. We still love what we do. And I think that drives us. You wake us up in the middle of the night and tell us that I have discovered a fantastic shawarma place. And we'll be like, haan, kya chhe bol jaiye. We'll be that. We are those two people who get driven. And the good thing is that we have company. Like Rohan and I, we do this together. So he's as mad and crazy about food as I am. So we constantly rub our energies off each other. Yeah, that absolutely. No
Yeah.
denying that fact.
Yeah.
But you have to love what you do. That's one way to, consistently produce good quality content. And the day you find yourself wearing out, it's okay to take a break. We have also taken breaks of social media. There are times when we just couldn't find it in us to, like, for example, we had a baby 2 years ago and life has changed after that. So when we knew that we did not have the emotional or the otherwise time-wise bandwidth to produce anything, we've not pushed ourselves, because the idea is to keep churning out good quality content. I didn't want to do it just for the heck of remaining relevant. So we've seen a lot of people losing their sight in order
Yeah.
to just be
Yeah.
relevant, just be visible, because out of sight, out of mind is a very, very true thing. It's a true phenomenon
We all are humans.
to happen. Exactly. And out of sight, out of mind thing happens on social media. So it has never feared us, because we both have our primary professions in place. So we're like, it's okay, let's take a break, and it's never even conscious. We just don't have anything to post for months and days together, and we have it. And when we did, we came back. Like, it's never planned.
So it's a very positive relation with us, with social media.
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
doesn't fear us. We are not scared of having a downtime or algorithms coming in our way. One reel did well, the other did not. I'm like, fine, take it.
Right.
It's okay. It's absolutely okay.
So this gave me the idea about paid ads. Everyone is doing paid ads because everyone wants views, likes, which I understand, of course. Everyone wants the validation. I mean, I'm not sure if I approve. But anyways, do you do paid ads and for your reels, for your stories?
No, we don't. And we are also very honest with our people, the brands that we associate with. We tell them that this is all organic. So it can go either way. We are going to put our heart and soul into creating really good, entertaining, enticing, engaging content for you. But it can go either way. Instagram is not built by us, so algorithms can go either way. We'll put in all the formulas in one place and push the content out. How people receive it is something that is up to them. Right. So we don't push content at all, at least especially not the ones that we pay for or otherwise. The only time we have taken help of sponsored ads is during Ras Garba. Like, when we want to push an event like this, probably last year was the first time we even tried it, like briefly for 15-20 days. And that's the only time we tried it. Other than that, I have no idea how it works, and I don't want, I personally, I'm not of the opinion that one should go that way, because how far it will take you? How far will it take you?
Yeah, but people don't understand that you need consistency and patience. Yeah. You have taken 10 years. Yes. So no one is going to see that. Everyone is
doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
So when you said there are a lot of food influencers, the consistency in our end comes from the fact that influencing is a result. It's not the objective with which we create content. So we are not here saying that, hey, we are here to influence you. No, we are here to share our love for food with you. If it speaks to you, very well then. Let's share the same meal again going forward, virtually speaking. You saw what we were eating, you go ahead and eat the same thing and you enjoy it. It's because we come from a place of absolute honesty as far as our love for food is concerned.
I wanted to tell you this one thing. Since I know you, since I know Foodaholics, maybe 2, 3, 4 years, I wanted to tell you this, and I decided when I'll meet you in person, I'm going to tell you this. Whenever I go out and the place is not decided with my friends or with my husband, what I tend to do is I open Instagram, I open Foodaholics, and I see where you have gone or your husband, wherever you both gone in the last month, and which are the new places, or rather the new places, which are the places which you have liked.
Yeah.
I actually read the comment.
Great.
So,
Great.
yeah.
So happy to know this. so happy to know this. It's great to see that the hard work is still actualizing itself.
Because you're authentic. That's the charm.
Yeah. No, I'm very happy.
And I love that you give a detailed comment. You write everything, this dish was 3 out of 5. This dish.
Oh, we don't do ratings, huh? By the way, we don't do ratings.
No,
we
but
don't do
what I mean is that this dish
yes.
is good. That dish is okay. Yeah. Okay. So you said that you are a mother. I would like to ask you something related to that. That is, how do you maintain the balance between your motherhood and your 2 jobs?
I have my daughter to thank for that. Yeah,
Really?
more than me, I think she's made it easy for us. She's a
Really?
very, very bright child. She's an extremely active toddler. Oh my god, I can't match her energy. But yeah, I think she has made it very, very easy for us to step out. She's built great. I come from a place of privilege where I have both sets of grandparents to help us out whenever we are busy. So she's always been with her either Dada Dadi or Nana Nani when we're not around. And she's built such great relationships with them that there are times when she's like, okay, mama, bye.
Wow.
And she knows that I'm going for a meeting. So we also made it a point ever since she was little, even when she was 2 hours old, we would speak to her as an adult. So when she was 2 hours old and the first time we ever changed her nappy diaper, we spoke to her that we are about to change her diaper, we are about to wipe her to sheets would be wet and very cold. You might not like it. And she's never cried while we changed her diaper because we've spoken to her. Kids are
What is her
old, so
age right now?
she's 2 years old now.
Wow.
So if you ask her where is your mama, she'll be like she's gone to the meeting.
Really?
Today she'll tell you I've gone for an interview. So she
Really?
knows exactly where I am, what I'm doing, who I am with,
I
for how
don't
long.
believe it.
Everything.
Wow.
She's our friend. She's our friend.
So this is very interesting kind of parenting. Did you learn this somewhere? Did you see any videos on YouTube, or
No.
how do you know this?
There's so much on internet you don't know what to believe. So it's really hard to tell the difference between the right and the wrong.
Yeah.
And so we relied on all the data that we had collected over this period of time. We also had interaction with Rohan's side of family who live in the US, who have raised two really, really bright kids. And in our last visit to US, we also took their advice, their guidance in how to raise happy babies. So we did an actual course, a very brief course, like a 2-day, 3-day course we did there. And whatever learnings that we had from there, and Rohan and I sat down, we made our own set of rule book that what kind of parents do we want to be, right? Because there are so many schools of thoughts, but what is it that speaks to us? So we had our own ground, like a rule book where we decided this is what we want. We sat both our set of parents down and we said this is how we want to raise our child and we would like for you to help us with that. So all of us speak the same language with Athya. So this is the world that she knows now, and she's grown up to be an extremely bright child.
Wow.
And I'm so grateful that she adopted to our style, and she also continues to inspire us to, how she would like to be raised. So it also comes from her.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Were you ever afraid to be a mother?
No. Earlier when I was young, probably in my early 20s, I just loved babies. I wanted them and I couldn't wait to have them. And then I went through phases where like, okay, do I really want to bring a child into this world? So I also went through that phase. Like, do I want to bring a child to the world that is becoming what it is becoming? And then I think there was one moment which spoke to me that if I don't bring a good citizen into this world, then there's literally no hope. So I think people like me, my friends, more people like us should raise good kids to be able to battle the wrongs that are happening in the world. So we are currently obsessively working towards raising a sane citizen in this world. I'm not saying a doctor or a professor, that's not the direction.
Interesting human being.
Just a good human.
Good human being, yeah. And
Just
you
a
are,
very
I think
funny
you are using a lot of good communication skills by doing
Yeah.
this. And at such an early age.
You should meet her. She talks.
I would love
she
to.
talks. Yeah, you'll be surprised.
And she is a reflection of you. So I would love to see it.
Yeah, I like it when people say
And
that.
when you said about the energy, it wasn't surprising because you have
Personally not
that
natural
energy
energy
and vibe.
given a 2 year and soon to be, no, never mind, but yeah.
Okay. So, as we were talking about motherhood, what is the one thing which your daughter is teaching you in this phase of your life?
I can tell you at least two things that I know she teaches me every day. That nothing stays with her longer, even if there is an unpleasant interaction, if at all, or she's fallen down, she's cried for a bit, and she doesn't even cry for that matter. She wakes up and she's like, oh, all done. Mane वागी हुई है. She comes and tells me, मैंने हमने ત્યાં આવची થઈ थी. and I'm all right now. And then she'll take me there and she'll show me, "Mane, so I was trying to climb this, and this corner hit me here," in her own language, and she'll be like, "Okay, cool." So not taking things seriously, not overreacting to things. Um, One other thing that I learned from her, and I watch and I correct as in my behavior also, is that she's ever so curious, and once she learns, she will go and tell the whole world about it. So applying the knowledge is something that she loves doing. So as soon as she learns something new, she will go and tell Dadi. We also have our, like, Rohan's Dadi also lives with us.
Yeah.
So we are blessed with 4 generations living in the same household. So she will go and tell the Dadi also, she will go tell Ba also, she will go tell Dada also, like, "Oh, Adya learned this today." She refers to herself in third person right now, how all kids do.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh, I learned this today, and now Adya can also play this game," all of that. So simple joys, celebration of new learnings, and feeling proud, like, of her own self, that, "Oh, this is the new feat that I discovered or that I learned." And I think I have started doing that. Even smaller joys, smaller victories. We learn so many things every single day, but we really take them for granted. Like, I know that I have changed over the past 5 years, 10 years. For example, let's say, speak from the perspective of Foodaholics also, like that kind of content that we were creating or pushing out 5 years ago is way different than what we do today. And that is all because Rohan and I upskilled ourselves through the journey. We upgraded our gear and we started learning softwares.
Yeah.
So everything that you do see on Instagram, only Rohan and I are responsible for it. He shoots and I edit and I do post production. So we have also upskilled ourselves. But even today, if someone tells me, "Hey, I like the video that I saw," and I'll be like, "No, but you know what? These 3 things were not right in it." But I don't accept the compliment as it comes our way. Yeah, I'm like, "No, I'm not entirely. I'm never entirely happy. I have a compulsive need to be always give my 100%, whatever, to the best of my ability."
Yeah.
So I'll be like, "No, I'm not entirely happy." So, but while with Adya, she's like, "Oh yeah, let's see. Even if like this, I'm holding this so well." I'm like, yeah, why not? Even if 80%, you should be proud you got to from 0 to 80. Why not? So I've started accepting good graces, compliments. I've started being thankful to my own self also, that even if I do a new thing, I still celebrate it. So, and we have this ritual with Adya also. Whenever she learns something new, we are very celebratory about it in our own way. Like, whenever she's very excited, we get excited. We are not like, "Oh, very good job." We are not like, "Oh, we approve of it as parents." It's not our approach.
Yeah.
But if she's like, "Oh, I climbed the ladder 5 times today," I'm like, "Okay, great. Are you happy with it?" She's like, "Yes, I'm great." Great.
So I was listening to this one interview recently of Shushmita Sen. She said this thing in the interview that if we give a compliment to a woman, she would be very modest to not either accept it or to say, "I did this 2 things wrong, I could have been better." But you don't see that you have given your 98%.
Wow, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She said the same thing, and that also hit me. Like, you don't see what you have done in the last 5 years, but right now, whatever you have done, you just keep on thinking about those 2 mistakes.
True.
And you can't take a compliment.
True. So I found that about myself, and thanks to Adya, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start celebrating even if I'm 8 or 10. Like, it's okay, at least I could get to 8. So
yeah, so every podcast I do, I learn something from it, and I think today's learnings is celebrate every moment.
Every win.
Celebrate your small wins.
Yeah. True, absolutely, you must. Kids do that all the time. Yeah.
Okay. So in this journey of Foodaholics, do you want to highlight one challenge which was like really hard for you, and one milestone, one hit of yours?
Milestones have been all of them. Like, the first time we gathered people outside of the digital space of Foodaholics was when 8 of us got together. So even that's a milestone. I still remember that day as yesterday, that, oh, we could de-digitized and have 8 people, absolute strangers, deciding to meet each other at municipal market and explore the food vendors there. So we've done that also. That continues to remain our milestone to today, when we get a lot of good response on one of our reels. Even that's a milestone, because every day is a new day, every content is a new piece of content. celebrating small wins right there. So I think milestones are way too many to list, but we are extremely thankful, very, very grateful about things that have happened to us. And we are not those aggressively, ferocious kind of people who will go out there and seize all the opportunities that come our way. But the ones that have come our way, like we've made the most of it, and we're very, very happy about that. So no complaints there, zero regrets. And challenges, nothing per se, nothing. I think we've just passed through them, and there's nothing that has stuck with me to be able to come up with anything right now. So clearly, they were not challenges. Like if I can't recollect any, they were just small speed bumps.
Okay, so in all of my podcasts, I have this segment where we talk about social media and its negative impact.
Right.
For you, for Foodaholics, you have to upload a lot of things. You have to check what are the new trends. You also have to maintain the consistency. How do you not let social media affect your mental well-being?
Like I said, we don't take it too seriously, and we enjoy doing what we do. We genuinely, Rohan and I, it's a process when we go and shoot a video. Like we think about what we want, how we want it to look like, what is the end result going to be. We envisage it together. We even write down the kind of shots that we want. All of we have a process, and we love that process. So for us, we create content more for our joy than the resultant joy of the viewers. As a byproduct of our joy, if the end result or the end video happens to be fun and they enjoy it, very well. But actually, we create content for our own joy. So as long as that is intact and nothing affects that, nothing comes in our way. And we really, like I said, if we really wanted to create videos for the viewers, then we would have obsessed about likes or the reach or the number of reshares, but that doesn't come our way. So it doesn't affect our well-being. We've not lost sleep over.
Doom scrolling.
No, I do a lot of doom scrolling. No. I'm guilty of that.
Okay.
But then I do doom scrolling not to seek inspiration, but I do doom scrolling to see what do I not want to do when I create what I see.
Are there any current obsession? Like I will tell you mine. So recently, since 2 to 3 months, I have this obsession of seeing those. I don't know if you know about it. There are this Amazon promoted videos where they show you some
Five finds on Amazon.
5 organizers, 5 things which you can have for your kitchen organizer or for your room and such stuff, and it's like very clean, good beige color videos, and it really attracts me.
Yeah.
Is there any
That's one of
person-
mine also.
Really?
Yeah, my algorithm is filled with it. So now my explore page always shows you like different kinds of organizers.
Same.
And I have zero makeup, and yet I'm looking at how makeup can be organized.
Same.
So I'm like, great. There's some joy, like there's some kind of calm
Yeah.
that it brings to just watch them do it. The ASMR videos, they are fun, like doing
It's
all of that.
too
I'm like,
much trendy, the ASMR videos. Yeah.
there was a time that they were trending, but I still continue to enjoy them. And you know how algorithms are. You see one video and they'll show
Of
10
course.
of the same
Yeah,
kinds.
yeah.
So, well, yeah, God forbid someone sees my explore page. They'll be, what does this woman want? She sees everything.
Yeah. Okay. And with your daughter growing up, kids these days, they are also obsessed with watching videos on YouTube while eating. And parents tend to give them those YouTube videos, when they don't want them to cry in public places. And with that, I don't know what is going to happen in the coming 10 years. And as we are talking about social media affecting our mental well-being, how do you think you're going to shield your child from all of these negative impacts?
So I'll come to that part later. But as a principal, we did not introduce Adya to screens up until she turned 18, 20, 19 months. So that's up until a few months ago. So she was never exposed to screens. She was not exposed to anything, even the kid-friendly programs or none of that. She has been engaged and entertained with stories. Her meal times included a lot of storytelling. So she has graduated to reading from comic strip books also, like as far as even Tinkles are concerned. Because we introduced her to different kinds of storybooks. So not just, she reads stories which are like books which are meant for 4 years and above, 5 years and above, by definition of book reading, right? So her world revolved around books. So that's what we did so far. We've recently introduced her to screens, but we show non-stimulating shows such as Pingu. If you remember, Pingu was a clay character, which was motion. It's made of motion art, like I think that's what they call stop motion art. Sorry, not motion art, stop motion art. So it's not very colorful, not overstimulating to her eyes also. So she watches that whenever we also want to sort of give her an exposure to screen. As far as restaurants or going in public spaces are concerned, there are two ways we've dealt with it. One has been she's always been told in advance. So she gets drilled with that information from the day's beginning. So every day she's told the plan for the evening, for the day. Like today, I'm going to leave at 11 o'clock and then Papa is going to come back at 1 o'clock. Both of us are currently going for the same meeting. You'll be having your lunch with Dadi and then you're going to sleep. And when you wake up, Mama will be back. So she knows the drill. So she knows the whole day. So, and that helps us a lot because she absorbs this information and she does what she has to do with it. So usually when she have to go to a public space, she's mentally prepared for it. She knows exactly who she has to expect at the other end of the table also. Like, is she going for a meal with her mama, mommy, or is she going for a meal with our friends? Yeah. She knows. So she knows the name, she knows who to say hi to, all of that. But there are times when, of course, you can never expect a child to enjoy your social setup as much as you do, right? And you have to respect that fact. Like, for example, if someone were to take you to a bouncy castle and ask you to just play there for 4 hours, as an adult, you would not do that. After probably first 10 minutes, you'll be like, oh yeah. So the same the child is going to do to your social setups also because it's not in sync with what they're looking for. So now when we go to restaurants, when it's time to eat, she eats on her own also. So she eats and has fun. But when she does lose a little bit she shows signs of impatience, we show her Pingu. So that's the extent. She doesn't get to operate the phone on her own. She doesn't get to choose what she wants to watch. None of that. This is her world. This is all she knows right now. Going forward, the second part of your question, how am I going to shield her with the world of social media? When it comes to moral things, I'm going to tell her never murder someone. But apart from that, I want her to decide her own right and wrong. I think both Rohan and I come from same school of thought. That we will allow her to discover as and when she does, as and when her age permits. And we'll never hold back information from her. If she seeks information, we'll be the first ones to provide it to her. And we'll tell her what we feel is right or wrong, and she can decide her right or wrong. We'll not hold it against her to think differently from how we think or how we process information. And that's how we expect her to build her own personality. So that is going to be our approach to this. Now, how well that works out, only time will tell.
So beautiful to know all of these thoughts because I'm not a mother and I've never heard people talking so positively about motherhood because either everyone is afraid to be a mother in these days or they are, when they're already a mother, they are cursing. Cursing might be too harsh word, but they are just irritated and frustrated with the fact that their child is always bugging them and crying at public spaces and how do I handle this, and there are no quick tips to that.
Right.
So this is very positive and
very very simple thing. When do you snap for attention? When do you holler somebody's name when they're not looking at you? Right? You'll be like, Trishla. I don't have to say Trishla right now because you're looking at me. I have 100% of your attention.
Yeah.
Which is why you don't see me screaming out your name or snapping my fingers and misbehaving.
Yeah.
Right? That's exactly what kids do. When they call out for you and you don't look at them and you're busy with your phone and laptops, they will scream, they will misbehave. So if you respond to their first time that they say Mama or Papa, like Mama, yes, Satya. She's not going to misbehave.
I think I see the communication is the key. With all of the things you say.
Age bar. Communication is the key. You can say all the hardships in any relationship. Just sit down.
That's what brain hydration is about.
Right there.
Good communication, good mindful conversations.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is it, and it was so great to have you on this podcast.
Likewise.
I'm so thankful.
Even I'm very, very happy we did this.
Yeah.
Very happy.
Thank you.